What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL video. My name is Mo, and today I'll be going through my team selection for game week 2. It's already here, guys. It's coming thick and fast. Team selections, thought processes, transfers in. We're having to make our decisions quick and fast. But remember, there'll be midweek games coming soon as well, so it will get even tougher. But before we know it, the next game week comes around. So before we get stuck into what my thought process is, I think this is one of my key videos throughout this FPL series that I do, because you'll get an insight into how or what my thought process is going to be in terms of transfers, what I'm going to be doing in terms of short to long term, and what decisions I'm looking to make in order to get my team to the #1 rank in FPL. But before we get into how my team did in game week 1 and what my thought process or transfers will be for game week 2, I want you guys to take a moment, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Join the FPL INKLING family. Our next target to hit for subscribers is 1,200. We're well on our way, so please continue to support the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy the content you're about to see. So let's get stuck in, guys. Let's review how I did in game week 1. Overall, I'm really satisfied with how I did. The game week kind of average score was 57. I was 12 points above it, so I got 69. My rank is around the 1.5 million managers mark. Personally, I'm not too concerned about the rank until like game week 8 or 9, where it takes a bit more overall kind of perspective of how you've done in the first third of the season, or coming up to the first third of the season, or just over the quarter of the season gone. So the way I see it is ranks doesn't make much of a difference. It's just how I've done, how my players were looking in game week 1, and what I'm looking to achieve from these players that I had in game week 1. Am I looking to make any transfers to make my team better set up for game week 2, if not game week 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6 as well? So stay tuned. Let's take a review of how I've done. So let's start from the back line. My goalkeeper premium choice was vindicated with Edison, 7 points. Yes, he made some crucial saves here and there. He didn't get those like mass amounts of saves that potentially keep us from teams that concede more goals, i.e. like Leeds or someone like from Brentford would do in terms of Raya or Meslier. But you know what? Coming away with a clean sheet and a bonus point was a win-win situation for me in terms of Man City, because it really did help in terms of my rank as well. So happy with Edison. He's more than likely going to be staying in my squad throughout the season itself, because it gives me the third player cover in Manchester City, which I don't really want to have any other outfield player. He's kind of nailed on. He will be playing most of the minutes this season, if not all. So nice and happy start with Edison, looking to keep him, and a good start in terms of the goalkeeper for me in game week 1. Now moving over to my back line, barring Trent, all of them performed, but I'm not too disheartened by Trent in itself. He got 1 point. Obviously, it was disappointing to see Mitrovic out-jump him and score that goal, but do you know what? The purpose I have him in this squad is not to defend headers against, players like Mitrovic or stronger build forwards. It's to get me points up front, along with clean sheets if possible. Now, Trent, 7.5 million. I'm not panicking. I'm not knee-jerking. I have seen, at the time of recording this video, there are so many managers that have transferred him out already. From what I can see, it was around 135,000 managers that have taken him out. Absolutely staggering. As you can see, he's still owned by 58% of managers, and I can show you guys his previous tallies of scores, 160 being his lowest in the last 4 years. At 7.5 mil, I think it's an absolute steal, one of the bargains of the season, and I'm not intending to get rid of him, just like Edison, anytime soon. The fixtures for Liverpool we'll discuss more, because I have Salah as well. We've got Crystal Palace, Manchester United, which I don't believe is a red. I would downgrade that to a maximum of 3, which is a grey, probably on par with Newcastle, and if not even a 2 for Liverpool, because I generally believe they're going to turn up at Old Trafford and give them an absolute pasting. The way Manchester United played, unless they turn it around, it's going to be an absolute, a roller coaster ride for all Manchester United fans. However, Trent will stay for me in my squad. I'm very happy in terms of fixtures coming up, and I love him as a player overall. So no questions asked. He is staying in. I always want to ask the question to those managers that take him out as a knee-jerk, what the thought process was. Are they going to come and bring him back in when he gets a big haul? Let's just be patient, let's be steady, and keep him in our squads. And then we've got Cancelo, 7 points. Despite getting a yellow card, he got some bonus points as well. I don't know why he decided to have a rant at the linesman or woman. I'm not sure entirely who it was on the sideline. But Cancelo got me 7 points, so 14 points from 2 Man City players that I owned. Happy days, and I tend to keep that as like the solid 2, and then the third City outfield player will obviously be up front or in the midfield. So happy with Cancelo. He's not going anywhere, staying in my squad. Now then I've got Reece James, again another yellow card, but he still got me the clean sheet and bonus points as well. He had so many crosses into the box. He had a free kick shot as well, so I think there's good to come from him. Defensively, they looked extremely fragile. So Spurs, I think they'll give him a hard time, and potentially I don't think, it'll be a goal scoring game both ways. I think both teams will score, but I think generally in terms of James, I haven't got him for the clean sheets aspect. I've got him for a wing back to give me attacking returns. So again, no disputes or no thought process of me having him out of my squad. And then Gabriel did what Gabriel was meant to do for me: get me a clean sheet, get me the odd bonus point, which was 7 points. Hopefully in the next coming weeks he can get me a goal on top of that as well. So I know people are on the Saliba hype, but I've got Gabriel, so I've got no intentions of taking him out. It's a good partnership. I think there'll be better returns. And looking at Arsenal's fixtures coming up in the next couple of game weeks, I generally do believe that, doubling up or even trebling up on Arsenal will be an absolute key for you, because Leicester at home, they haven't been that great, to be fair. Bournemouth away, Fulham at home, and Aston Villa at home as well, who lost on the first day to Bournemouth, and then Manchester United, which will be a good game to watch from both spectacles. Then Everton and Brentford. So all the way even up to game week 8. I'm pretty happy with Gabriel being in my squad. And then comes Mo Salah. So my question is to all those FPL managers, around 40% of them who didn't own him: why didn't you own him in game week 1? I've seen him being transferred in by many managers already. He's not actually hit the price rise yet, but I think, if they continue to transfer him in, the price rise will come soon. So 12 points, 1 goal, 1 assist, and it wasn't even his best game. He could have got more, to be fair, if they'd been more clinical in terms of finishing. But I think, generally, as we've discussed the Liverpool fixtures, he's going to be more deadlier, he's going to get better, and I have no intentions of removing him from my team. He's pretty much going to be nailed on in the squad. Captaincy most weeks, but maybe for this week I might consider alternative options. But Salah does indeed look threatening, and I'm expecting high returns from him. Luis Diaz was someone that I was quite, unlucky with. I think it's so easy he could have got 10 or more points because he hit the post one shot, and then I think there was one opportunity where Robertson fired the ball into the box like an absolute rocket. He slid in but missed the goal, which was an open goal pretty much. Got 77 minutes, so got subbed off, but no worries around there. Are there better alternatives that I've seen that I want to target? Potentially Luis Diaz could be one of the players that I take out this week when I'll show you guys my team selection. But I think there's still 21% of managers that own him. I'm not knee-jerking. There might be a decision being made for my personal reason, but I think he's still got a lot of good fixtures, as we discussed, from Liverpool. So him being a minor replacement could actually be an absolute key or steal to keep him in your squad, and be patient. Now, Neto did what Neto was supposed to do for me, get me 2 points, because, I'm expecting a goal here and there. But generally, he did look a bit flat in the game, didn't see him much. Podence had more of a threat, got the goal. Without Jimenez in the squad, it will kind of limit the number of goals Wolves score. But again, we're here discussing, what the purpose or the role of Neto is. He's that points enabler for me. Fulham at home next week. If Fulham play like the way they played against Liverpool, it's going to be a long, long afternoon for Wolves. But hey, we can always hope for the best, and he's still going to stay into my squad. I don't intend to move him out anytime soon. And then we go on to my personal favourite, Gabriel Martinelli. Since pre-season, I've been raving about this guy. I think he's absolutely key. 8 points, 90 minutes he played, 1 goal. He could have had 2 goals, to be fair, if he didn't actually scuff his first shot. He's had a lot of people bring him in, so the ownership's gone from about 18% in first game week to around 24% at the time of recording this. I think his price rise is pretty much imminent as well. But yeah, in terms of when we're recording this, he will be going up very, very soon, I think, in terms of price. So yeah, Gabriel, if you haven't got him into your squad, do think about bringing him in, because we discussed Arsenal figures and he did look extremely threatening up front. And then we'll talk about Jesus whilst we're on Arsenal. Again, didn't have the best of games from a personal perspective, but he looked quite deadly in front of goal. He did look quite threatening. I think there's more to come from him. I'm surprised by the number of managers that have given up from him literally after one game week. I put out a tweet as well in regards to what were they expecting, a hat-trick first game as a joke. But look, there will be returns coming from him. He does look a key part of Arsenal's setup. He may not be on penalties due to Saka, but I'm not giving up on him just as yet. And I'm not tempted to take him out my squad for any other player as we stand. So he will be going into my next couple of game weeks as one of my strikers. Now, moving on to personally the biggest heartbreak of this game week for me was Harry Kane. I did expect them to score around 3 or 4 goals, but I did expect him to have at least 1 return. As a joke, I put this out on Twitter that, if Son had only been less selfish at some occasions, that maybe Kane would have got a return. But 2 points from 90 minutes, there's a lot to come from him, guys. Look, his ownership has gone down. His price is going to decrease as well to 11.4, which is the expectation. And I generally do believe that he's just really unlucky in terms of not getting on the score sheet despite them scoring 4 goals. And he's on penalties. He will, pretty much play 90 minutes week in, week out. And I think there's a lot of positives to come from Spurs. So good on all those managers that decide to keep him and don't jump off him and will back him. But do you know what? For me, personally, it was really difficult to watch. Haaland play so well, and it was kind of a kick in the teeth where I was trying to be over smart, I think. And I think the FPL gods were against me, where Harry Kane blanked and Haaland got the 13-point kind of return as well. Let's say I had 9 more points, for example. I would have been in the top 800,000, maybe 750,000 FPL managers. That would have been a phenomenal start. But if I could change it again, going back into game week 1, I still wouldn't change it because I think Spurs played the way I expected them to play. It just didn't have the output for Harry Kane that I anticipated for game week 1. So a disappointment for me there. It's not to say I'll never own Kane again the rest of the season. There will be points where I think, do you know what, good fixtures, he looks good up front, he's hit a bit of form, he might come back in and I might change the kind of like structure of my squad. I could have, maybe Haaland, Jesus and Kane up front. We just can't predict the rest of the season as of now. But for now, it was a disappointment and most likely I'll be taking him out of my squad as planned in pre-season before game week 1 to set up for game week 2. So that was my game week 1 score, guys. So 69 points. Let's move on to my team for game week 2. So here it is as it stands. So what we'll do, we'll go through the 2 transfers that I've made. So I've taken a -4 this week. So as we discussed in my live streams and my previous videos, it's something that I had been contemplating and I've managed to get in there just before the price rises as well. So Haaland comes in for the Bournemouth game and the captaincy band goes straight onto him. So yes, he will be my captain. I had that planned from pre-season because that Bournemouth game generally did concern me and scared me, not owning him. And I think if I am owning him, I definitely want to captain him. 13 points, 77 minutes played. He got substituted off, 2 goals, and he looked absolutely deadly. He could have easily had a hat-trick. Absolutely loved his humour in terms of swearing on live TV, but he's an absolute character. And those fixtures that we have there in the next, 8 fixtures that we have, I think he'll score a brace of points and goals. So the ownership has gone up for about 43% in game week 1 to 54% at the time of recording. And as you can see, 11.6 mil is his price. But I've managed to get him in just before the price has risen. It might rise further when you watch this video, but at the moment, he's 11.6 mil and he's in my squad for next week. The next one will be like an eyebrow raiser for you. I've got a bit of backlash off it on my previous videos and live streams from some managers about my thought process, but hey, this is the way I play, this is the way I'm going to play it, and why not? Let's make decisions which I feel comfortable with, and you may not agree with it, you may agree with it, but this is the beauty of FPL in itself. So Dejan Kulusevski comes into my squad at the expense of Diaz. Yes, I know Diaz is playing Crystal Palace, but hey, Dejan Kulusevski is in form. The only kind of like, if you watch my pre-season videos, the only concern I had with him was, would he be able to, replicate the 99 points that he got between January and the end of the season, the highest points by any FPL player with 14 returns? Could he replicate that this week? Let's say, for example, he didn't get that goal and assist and it was a blank game week. I still was quite impressed by the way he played. He gets into forward positions. He likes to attack. Conte knows exactly how to get the best out of him. And the way I'm seeing it coming forward in the next 3 game weeks, yes, Chelsea's a tough fixture. I'm not having him in there to keep a clean sheet. Remember, guys, people have got Perisic or other defenders like Sessegnon they're looking to bring in. This isn't a defensive move from me. This is an attacking move from me. Do I believe that Chelsea's defence was fragile enough to concede a goal against Spurs, who looked really threatening at home? Of course I do. Do I believe that, Kulusevski's a main part or one of the 3 main players that will be the source of goals, as proven on game week 1, for the remainder of the next couple of games? Of course. For the season, this guy, the way I see it, if you look at the next couple of games, they've got Wolves, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Fulham, before the Manchester City game. What I'm thinking myself, I've got no Spurs players in my squad. Yes, I've already got 2 players from Liverpool, and Liverpool have some great fixtures, but the manner of I'm thinking as an FPL manager is I want to have spread of my odds, and this is the biggest change that I've made from any other previous season to this season itself, is I want to have a spread of players from different teams where I can actually have a better chance of getting some points, rather than like tripling up or doubling up too much on certain teams. There are some players from certain teams that look in form that I just have to have someone in there that I need to cover in terms of goals and, have a balance in my squad. I'm not going to go for Perisic. I'm certainly not going for Kane or Son because of their prices. So the only player that, in my opinion, that I could actually afford, and before that price rise of 8.1 million, was Dejan Kulusevski. Now, he may not score against Chelsea. Okay, that's fair enough. We can take that hit. But then Wolves, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Fulham is where I'm expecting the really big points. And I do expect him to get, potentially a goal or an assist against Chelsea because they just looked fragile and vulnerable against Everton. But hey, there's no guarantees in FPL. This is the move I backed, and I'm certainly going to back it for game week 2. Again, the rest of the squad looks absolutely the same. Most of my team are at home, barring Kulusevski, who I've brought in. So 10 players are playing at home, so happy days. So I've got Edison in goal, Bournemouth at home, and then Cancelo and Haaland, who'll be playing at home versus Bournemouth. So it's like the induction or the first game at home for Haaland in the Premier League. I'm expecting big things, and the way he looked against West Ham away, I think he's only going to be putting shivers through the defence of Bournemouth. And then against Crystal Palace come Liverpool, so Trent and Salah will be my 2 players from there. Reece James will be playing against Tottenham at home, and then the Arsenal coverage at home I have is Gabriel, Martinelli and Jesus, and then that leaves us with Neto in the midfield with Fulham at home. So that is what my squad looks like. The bench is exactly the same with Ward, Andres Pereira, Nico Williams and Taylor from Nottingham Forest on there as well. I expect this team to do well. Fingers crossed my transfers pay off in terms of what I've brought in. But this is what my team looks like, guys. And this is what it goes into game week 2 looking like. So that's my plans. 2 transfers, -4 taken. And I'm happy with the squad that I have set up. Yes, there's a few questions risen about why I brought Kulusevski in for the Chelsea game. But we just got to wait and see whether this move was indeed worth it. So let me know what your thought process is this week. Let me know what transfers you've made. Do you like my squad? Do you like it going into it? Have you played your wild card? Drop me a comment, guys. Hit the like button. If you guys haven't subscribed yet and you've enjoyed this content and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, guys. It's absolutely free. Please support the channel, help it grow. I've got a lot of positive feedback so far in this season, and I really appreciate everyone's support. We're on our way to 1,200 subscribers, and please help us achieve that as soon as possible. In addition, hit that notification icon to get regular notifications of when I release my content, which will be daily, and live streams when they go live. If you haven't joined the league, the code is below on my camera screen. Join FPL INKLING League, and let's have a great league this season. I want you guys to take care, make these transfers as soon as you can before the price rises, and let's get ready for game week 2, guys. Start the drums rolling. Have a good week, and I'll see you guys soon with more content. Take care.